Is my grandpa secretly Commissioner Gordon? What burger of the day do I want to eat today? How does Ben Grimm have children? How is Hope gonna get herself out of this one? Let's have a conversation.
Hello, welcome Conversations to Go. What? Hello, welcome Conversations with the Goob. That's me. Let's have a conversation. So last week we discussed if comic books count as books. And we all agreed, right? Yep. Everyone here agreed that comic books are books. So this week we're going to discuss comic book movie adaptations versus book movie adaptations. So first off, right off the bat, comic books get thrown on the floor for this. Every time there's a new adaptation and it's not anything like what the storyline is, like you can tell that they're going with the death of Superman, but then they also merge Bizarro in with Doomsday for some odd reason, and it just doesn't make any sense. People complain, but every time a comic book fan starts to say something, they immediately get shut down by all these people that don't care about comic books, and they're like, it's just based off of it. It's loosely based off of it. It doesn't have to be a word-for-word recreation. They can have fun with it. They can do their own thing. But then when it comes to making a book into a movie, like Harry Potter, it's the exact opposite. People start to complain, and if anyone tries to say that, they say, but no, it's a live-action telling of that book. It should be that book. And people agree that, Harry Potter cut a lot of stuff out, and they're disappointed about that, and they agree with them. Why is it different? Books and comic books are the same thing. It's a story that's being told, and they're making a live-action adaptation of it. Why is it any different to be upset when they're completely changing it? And examples of this, why do you think DC has such a hard struggle getting their movies off the ground? Yeah, they make decent movies that are standalone movies, but they never gotten their universe together. And even now, they had to fake this whole Snyderverse thing. Yeah, get on me on that. I might make a whole video just about the Snyderverse, but it's not his original telling. This is what he thinks everyone wants because he's had like years to rewrite everything and like $60 billion to refilm it. So anyways, I mean, look at that. You get the Justice League movie, and it doesn't work because they didn't follow the comic books. Aquaman did so fantastic that he's one of the few of the characters that they're not retooling for the new universe because they followed his storyline. Like, yeah, they cast someone that looked different. That's one of the things that you can get away with if you make the movie good. But so many scenes, that scene when they're in the boat in the water at night and it's raining and the deep, these gnarly looking like creatures from the Marianas Trench come out after them and attack them, literally page by page from the comics. Like that was literally the comic book I read. I'm seeing played out in front of me, and that's why it worked. But then you have the Christian Bale Batman. I'm sorry, but it's not Batman. It's too realistic. Batman is not supposed to be realistic. Too dark and gritty, too edgy. You can do Batman good and not do it that way. There are darker versions of Batman without having to completely retool his character. But why do you think? Yeah, it had 3 movies. So you're gonna say, well, it didn't fail at 3 movies, but they couldn't merge it in with the universe. They couldn't put Superman in that. They had to completely reboot Batman to do the Superman movies because it only works as a standalone universe. Which, yes, the DC universe does have an omniverse, so multiple multiverses, but why are they allowed to make so many grand changes why is it okay to change a comic book, but it's not okay to make those big grand changes in a book? If you're going to say it's okay that you make these changes because it's just a retelling, it's loosely based off of the comic book, same should be done for books then. So when a book comic-based movie comes out and it's nothing like the book, well, fine. They were taking their own creative licenses with it. I mean, that's okay. You sell it, say it's okay for the comics. It has to be. It's okay for the books then. So that's what I feel like. I feel like they need to treat them the same. If it's okay for do something to the comic books, then we should be okay to do that to the books. And if it's not okay to do something to the books, then it shouldn't be okay to do that to the comic books. I'm ranting here now, but it's the same. Why is there such a big difference? And it's like, oh, well, it's just their own take on it. Well, that's great, but we have stories that we want to see in live action. Until you give us this good, retelling of it, until you can give us the actual stories we want, don't be making these weird movies that have nothing to do with the continuity. We still haven't even seen the normal continuity on the big screen. That's what I think. So I thought for our conversation this week, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think that if they're going to say that it's not okay to completely change a book around in order to make it into the movie, and sure you have to make cuts here and there, but you need to follow the standard of the book, the story that's told in the book, same should be told for comic books. If you're doing the Flashpoint as a movie, you can't just take, well, he changed the past and that's what the movie's going to be, which is what it sounds like it's going to be. It's not going to have anything with the actual Flashpoint comic series. It shouldn't be. It should be that comic series live action. Yeah, maybe you have to cut a lot of the characters out. Maybe you need to, recast them in different looks that, people wouldn't normally see, like when they did Will Smith as Deadshot. I mean, it worked. I think I prefer when they use lesser-known actors. I think sometimes these lesser-known actors are able to pull you in, because a lot of times you're watching and you're like, it's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with a gun. But, that's just because we love him as that, But no, so yeah. Give us the Flashpoint comic book. Don't just call it Flashpoint and have the only difference be that he altered the past and it made everything different. Give us the actual Flashpoint comic book in live action. If you're going to do that with the Harry Potter series, you didn't just make it where it was a wizard boy. You followed the book story. Or do you disagree with me? Do you think that comic books don't matter and they can just use the characters to do whatever they want, and books should follow the book format because it's a book and not a comic? No difference to me. Or do you think the complete opposite and you think that it should be perfectly fine for them to just take the characters and the standard story, like Harry Potter is about a wizard boy, let's do it. And who cares if the villain's different and the story is different and his friends are different? And do the same in comic books. Superman is an alien from outer space from a planet that blew up. That's all that needs to be the same. Everything else can be different. Just let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. Like I said, comic books should be taken at the same level as a normal book, and that we should follow the story format when we make it into a movie. And I see nothing wrong with people being upset when they find out that it's not anything to do with what the actual story is from the comics. So just let me know down below. And as always, remember, you don't need to have superpowers to be a hero.